Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about fragrances that are on the chopping block. I'm not sure I'm going to declutter them yet, but I have my eye on them to let them go. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Giorgio Armani, and this is Armani Code Turquoise. And this is just a more fresh aquatic version from the Code line. I actually like the fragrance itself, but I very rarely reach for it. The performance is not great. I do like the scent. And I thought I would just use it as a gym fragrance, but even when I'm reaching for something to go to the gym I'm reaching for something that is a little fresher and definitely has a slightly better performance. I'm not trying to choke anybody else out at the gym, like with my fragrance, but I do like to smell fresh and clean while I'm working out. And I just don't reach for this one. And so it's definitely on the chopping block for sure to pass it out of my collection. I don't like to have a lot of clutter. And if I'm not going to use it, there's no reason for it to be taking up space. The next one I have here is also by Armani. This is Sea Fiori. And this one, I really like the way it smells. It smells very, very, very pretty. I'm always so torn when I think about getting rid of this one because even though I really like the way it smells, right? It has that cDNA. It almost smells like a berry milkshake a little bit. It's not too lactonic or thick or anything, but it's a really nice, beautiful, fluffy, sweet version of Sea. But unless it's on a tray, I don't reach for it. And even when it's on a tray for the month, I have to tell myself, wear this perfume today for some reason. I don't ever put it on and think, oh, I can't wait to get this off. But it just is not something I reach for all the time, and I feel like someone else can get more use out of it. I don't want to let it go. I like the scent. I love the bottle. I like the Sea line. I just don't know why I'm not reaching for it like I thought I would when I first got it, or even how I reached for it when I first got it. The next one on the chopping block is from Maresque. This is Seta. This smells really nice. The bottle is stunning. I love the way this bottle looks. This is a very nice kind of warm, soft, spicy vanilla fragrance. It smells really great. And I guess maybe it's just not my scent profile. Vanilla fragrances are not something I tend to reach for a lot. I've seen a lot of people that have a lot of vanilla fragrances. They really like that profile. I like vanilla in my fragrances, but just straight up vanilla fragrances, they smell good. It's just not something I reach for, especially if they start smelling a little too gourmand. Gourmand fragrances are not my favorite. They smell nice. I will wear them from time to time, but I don't particularly want to smell like food. So that's a beautiful fragrance that I enjoy it when I wear it. I just don't reach for it much. The next one I have here is Victor and Rolf. This is Bon Bon. This is the last little size of it that I have. I decluttered my bigger bottle. I gave it to my one of my best friends. She loves that fragrance. So actually, I'll probably be sending this to her too. I just don't reach for it. I like it. I like the way it smells. It's just not my personality. And so I just don't reach for it. And so I'm going to send that to her for sure. So that's just going to be in a next declutter video. A couple months ago, it was chopping block, and now I know for a fact I'm going to just get rid of it. The next one I have here, this is from Guerlain, and this is Gourmand Coquine. This is like where you can reach out to that retailer that they have fountains of this, and then you can place an order. And this, it smells really good, and it smells good, better and better the longer I have it. I'm also just not reaching for it, and I don't know why. Maybe part of it is because it's in this, and I actually have a little travel spray of it, and I forget that it's there. So maybe I just need to move it somewhere where I'll see it more, because even though this does have a gourmand facet to it, it actually smells really good. So I will be putting this on my tray sometime this fall and really, really wearing it to see how I like it and see, because I don't want to get rid of it if I'm unsure, but I just don't reach for it that much. So, and I don't know if it's maybe the cocoa. That's another note I've discovered I don't like in my fragrances is a chocolate cocoa powder note. It doesn't smell bad. I just don't want to smell like food. The next one I have here is Tom Ford Jasmine Rouge. I love the way this smells. I just don't reach for it, and I don't know why. But it is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. You get the jasmine, of course. I believe there's some ginger, which I don't smell, thankfully, because I don't like ginger. But it does give it this nice kind of warmth. So very well blended fragrance. Beautifully done. Oh, I don't know why I don't reach for it. I don't want to give it away. But if I don't end up getting some good wears out of it before the end of this year, it's going to have to go because I just don't reach for it. You can see the bottle is basically full. I've only worn it a few times since I got it. And it's just taking up space, and someone else could really get some use and some wears out of it. Similarly, I have Rouge Malachite here by Armani Privé. This was a blind buy for me. Everybody was raving about it. It just smells so good. I actually test wore it the other day, right? Because again, this is not a declutter for sure. This is just chopping block. Trying to figure out what about it was making me not reach for it. And it was the first time I wore it, and I was getting all the notes out of it that I wanted. I was getting those warm ambery notes. I was getting more of the white florals, less of the green note in here, and I was just loving it for the first 30 minutes to an hour. And then a note crept in, and it's not listed anywhere, but what it reminds me of is coconut. So I'm not saying there is coconut in here, but something in here is giving me that coconut vibe. And that is what I believe has been keeping me from wanting to wear that fragrance. So I'll test it out a few more times and see if that happens again. But if it does, that one's probably going to have to go because I just don't like how coconut sits on my skin after a little bit. It smells good in the beginning, and then I just can't handle it after an hour or so. The next one I have is from Juliet Has a Gun. This is Vanilla Vibes. And this is only on the chopping block. It smells so good because I have the Armani Privé Blue Turquoise. And while they're not dupes of each other, they do have very similar vibes, note structures. And the Blue Turquoise I reach for much more often. I already have a dent in that bottle. And so when it comes between this one and the Blue Turquoise, I always reach for the Blue Turquoise. Unless I know I'm like going out to the pool or something like that, I'm just going to throw this on and it's just going to come right off as soon as I jump in the pool. Then I reach for this one. But since that doesn't happen too often, I don't feel really justified to keep this in the collection when I have the Blue Turquoise that I much prefer on my body chemistry. The next one I have here is by Lancome, and this is Oud Bouquet. I love the way this smells. This is purely because I don't reach for it. Oh gosh, it smells so good. I'm going to have a hard time giving this one away if I decide to declutter. It smells so good. The rose, the praline, the oud, I believe there's saffron in here. Oh, it smells so good. It's just, again, it's hot where I live, and this is such a thick, heavy fragrance. I really only think about it when it's colder out. So, and maybe I'll just keep it for when it's colder out. It'll just be one of those seasonal fragrances, but I always feel like then I should just try to get my hands on a smaller bottle of it, like the travel size, because that will last me so long. Someone else can get use out of the bigger version, and this won't go bad after years and years of only wearing it a couple of times here and there. So I'm not sure I'll declutter that one, but it's one I'm thinking of letting go. I've worn it several times. In fact, you only need a spray or two, which is why it doesn't look like I've worn any. So maybe if I can find a smaller bottle, then maybe I will let this one go so I can just keep a little bit in there to tide me over for when I want it, but not have a full, huge bottle that I'm never going to get through in my lifetime or, any future generations' lifetimes. And the last one on my tray on the chopping block is by Kilian. This is Angel Share. This is a really beautiful, warm, spicy, boozy fragrance. It smells so good. And again, this is one that I only reach for in the winter months. It's not something I think to reach for when it's warm out. It smells so good. So this isn't a scent issue or a performance issue. There's only 1 or 2 months out of the year that I even reach for it, and even then I only reach for it a couple of times. So if I were to get rid of this bottle, I should have my boyfriend try it first and see how it smells on him. It wouldn't be a full declutter because I actually got this in a set that came with this and then the travel atomizer with the travel spray. So I would still have that scent, but just as a travel size in my collection, which I think is the perfect size for a fragrance you only reach for seasonally a few times a year. Someone else that wants to wear this year round could wear it, have a full bottle, and I could just keep my little travel atomizer for the handful of times I decide to wear it during the holidays. So here are all the fragrances that are on my chopping block. I will do an update when I do my end of year or beginning of the year fragrance declutter to see which ones actually stayed and which ones I decided to pass along to friends and family. Thank you so much for watching. That's all I have for you today, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.